Good morning, everyone. I hope this finds you well and living your best life in Jesus Christ. I had to tell someone no yesterday, and it bothered me. It bothered me a lot. See, I'm not good at no. I'm much better at yes. See, this is one thing that Nancy and I have in common. We would much rather tell someone yes than no. I suppose that makes us people pleasers, and it's gotten us into trouble many times. I can remember that even when I was at my worst in life, when I was doing everything I could to isolate myself from others, I would still say yes to folks. Yes, I will fix your computer. Yes, I'll play your wedding for free. Yes, I'll help you with that paper and help you write that grant. Yes, I'll give you lessons. And you would think that having been a band director for all these years, I would have mastered the art of no, but I never really did. Mr. Miller, can the band play for the opening of that doghouse? Sure. So many yeses. And often I hated every minute of it, begrudging the time spent when I had other, what I consider to be way more important things to do. How many times in my life have I done the right thing for all the wrong reasons? And really the question is, and who was I serving at the time? Matthew 5:37 says, "Let what you say be simply yes or no. Anything more than this comes from evil." I cannot count the number of times that Nancy and I have agreed to do something for someone and had it become a major pain in the rear, either because we miscalculated the amount of time and effort involved or because that one little thing led to another and another, each more daunting than the first, which drained us more and more, drained our time, and drained our goodwill. I suppose when you get right down to it, we tend to say yes because we like people and we want to make them happy. And truth be told, it's because we want to be liked and we don't want people to be disappointed in us. That's okay. There's really nothing wrong with being the kind of person who is willing to help others. As a matter of fact, Christ calls us all to do that. But we have to be wary of those who would use this against us, and we need to make sure we're doing things for the right reasons. See, it can be easy to get into the habit of saying yes to everything due to this sense of obligation. But somehow that's something that's taken me years to learn, is that you don't have to say yes to everything and everyone. In other words, we must count the cost of our yeses and our nos. It's also important to consider if there's any fear behind your decision process. What do you mean by fear, Kevin? Well, I mean the fear that others will think less of you, or fear that they might get angry. And we must also be aware of sometimes we're just plain selfish. I've said many times that your motives will be borne out by your actions. Truth is, people make time for the things they really value. So really it boils down to the question, what do you value? To paraphrase an old saying, where your heart is, your time will be also. A no response that is driven by a desire to do right and honor God is way more glorifying than a yes response that is rooted in fear or the thought that someone will think or say something about us. I think that we often say yes to things that tie us up, so that we're not genuinely available when we're genuinely called to do things that will really help other folks. Don't believe the lie that saying no is somehow selfish or unkind. Perhaps your no might just make room for someone else who is the right person to say yes for the opportunity that you chose to turn down. And it may open you up to being available to do the things that God needs you to do for yourself and for others. I suppose what I'm really saying is that if we're not careful, we become so tied up in doing for others or in forced obligations that we fail to take care of those things which the Lord tells us are to have a priority in our lives. So here's a few helpful hints. If you're too busy to pray, too busy to read your Bible, too busy to spend time with your family, too busy to attend church services, too busy to witness to your neighbor or talk to your neighbor or spend time just being pleasant, too busy to help others when there is a genuine need, well, then you need to tell someone no. And that person may just be you, because your priorities are not what they should be. You need to pray and seek God's face and trust Him to guide you in your decision process, to lead you to the opportunities that are the best use of the resources that He has entrusted to you. The goal is to harness your gifts, strengths, and life experiences and to live out God's purpose for your life. If your desire is to do the right thing and you can rule out any selfish motives, then you can and should feel the freedom to say no. This will make room for God's best in your life. But it's a learning process, and it requires constant self-examination as well as much prayer and diligence. So today I'm going to ask you to say yes to the things of God and no to the things holding you back from knowing and doing His will. At least for me, it's not easy, and it might not be easy for you either, but it definitely will be worth it. I hope you make today a terrific day. I want you to know that I'm here if you need me, and I love you all.